The wooden burnisher, one of the cornerstones of finishing off any burnished edge, is using one of these wooden burnishers. Now, once they've been heavily used, they become nice and smooth and rounded, and they do a great job. But they don't always start out like that. On a brand new wooden burnisher, what you tend to have are sharp corners from where these pieces here, these little gouges, have been machined out. And they have sharp edges. And sometimes when you start using it, you're actually roughing up your edge as much as you are burnishing it smooth. So how do you avoid messing up your edges and get a nice, clean, smooth, burnished edge? Well, to start with, these aren't really ready to go. You want to finish them off first of all. And the way you do that is by getting a series of pens, pencils, or anything that's round that you can fit inside of these spaces here that are just slightly undersized. So the first size, the largest one, this pen here fits just slightly, very slightly loose, so that's ideal for that one. If I take this metal rod here, it's too big for the end, but it fits just inside this one. So you want to find a series of round pieces of metal, pens, anything like that. The next thing you want to do is get yourself some sandpaper, okay? Anything from 800 to 1200 grit, okay? So medium fine to fine. This happens to be sticky on the back. We're going to place our round cylinder in place there and press it down inside the groove. And we're just going to go backwards and forwards, and I'm pressing down and I'm also pushing to one side and then the other. Getting it nice and smooth. This happens to be 1200 grit. Now what I'm going to do is lift the back of it as I go backwards and forwards. Come over to one side and then back down to the other side. And what I'm doing is just rounding it very slightly on the ends. And this is going to allow a smoother transition as you go backwards and forwards on your leather. Now removing that, as you can see, I'm removing wood there. I'm going to finish off the corners on the sides, and I'm going to just do that by hand. I'm trying to remove any sharpness whatsoever, anything that I can feel. And I can feel now that's nice and smooth, there's no sharp edges. And finally, I'm going to take a bone folder, and what I'm doing is just pressing and compressing the wood fibers, and this will actually polish them, believe it or not. You'll start to see a bit of a shine come up. Using the front end in here, pressing the fibers down, giving them a little bit of a polish, and this is going to make such a difference to burnishing your edges. It takes a few minutes, yes, but then you'll have years of use, and you probably won't need to do this ever again. So you can see that part is now finished. It's smooth to the touch, silky smooth like glass, and that's going to give a really nice burnished edge. Feeling the others by comparison, they feel really rough like sandpaper. So use a slightly undersized cylinder for each individual one. On the back side, that's even simpler. Take a paring stone, ideally not a cutting surface, but I'll use this for demonstration. Take the back of it and then just go backwards and forwards, removing any high spots or any roughness, and then turning to one side very slightly as you go backwards and forwards, working on that transition, because you're going to be going backwards and forwards like this on your leather. And if you have a sharp edge and it's an abrupt transition, then you're going to be scuffing your leather more. Lifting up, corners, corners, back down. Obviously working the end as well. And again, getting your bone folder. And that's going to give you that nice, shiny, slick surface that again is going to impart a nice smooth edge. The more glassy and glossy your wood, the more glassy and glossy your leather is going to be. So that is just one little trick, one little tip on preparing a wooden burnisher before you show it anywhere near your leather. And if you want to find out more and discover all the courses we have on fine leathercraft, check out leathercraftmasterclass.com, and you'll see me using this tool in action and teaching you how to use it effectively. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.